It was a dark and stormy night. Robert exited his house and got into his fancy-dancy Cadillac that he drives. He drove it down an abandoned street. But it really wasn't abandoned. It was full of misery and ghouls and goblins. And, actually, it's only August. The scary shit shouldn't be happening yet, Robert. Yet here we are, drinking a happy time, festive beer that you drink in fall. What the hell?
How dare us?
It's Dudes with Brews.
Cue it.
You're about to hear the greatest show of your life.
Dude.
Dudes with Brews on a porch with Rob and Drew.
Robert, glad to have you back by my side. Took like a week off. Things were busy for me. I was working. Was the last week I was working second shift? Or no, the weekend before?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I can't
never
even.
told me.
I can't even remember. I was on.
Is it after that?
It was last week. Last week I was on.
Was that the
second
week after
shift.
I watched Phil?
Yes.
Okay. That was 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago you watched Phil, but last week.
Time's a little blurry for me right now.
Yeah, me too. Last week I worked second shift. Just didn't happen. Glad you're next to me. Within
Did you release anything?
we did the one. No, I didn't release anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Well, we're drinking.
Familiar Foes didn't mention us on their podcast.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
I did.
Which episode?
the one they posted right after.
They posted two since then.
Yeah, we're on there.
Seriously?
Yeah.
How did I miss that? I download their episodes.
It's right in the beginning. They did.
I wonder if I accidentally skipped the beginning.
Maybe.
But the Castbox app has some weird settings on it now. I don't know if you knew that. Do you use Castbox?
No, I use Apple Podcast apps.
Well, yeah, because you're an Apple guy.
Yeah. Let's talk about what we're drinking, Rob. We're drinking something that it's a limited run or a limited release, and really we should be saving it for the what do they call it? The
October.
fall time. Yeah, October. But you know what? Things are gloomy in the world. A lot of crazy stuff going on. We've touched on it before, and I feel the same way. You can read the blog post that I wrote about it, all the stuff that's going on in Kenosha. It's insane. And quite frankly, like, we need a distraction. So we're going to jump into a happy time for me. At least I love Halloween. We're drinking a beer called Warlock from Southern Tier Brewing Company. 8.6 ABVs, Rob. 44 on the IBUs. It is an unbeatable pumpkin, which is another beer that is in my fridge that we will have in October. The recipe was adapted for the stout beer style in 2011. Dark and mysterious. Reignite your senses with Warlock's huge roasted malt character, moderate carbonation, and a spiced pumpkin aroma. Do you like pumpkin things?
Yeah.
I do too. I'm a quote
This is
unquote
best by 7/10 of 2022.
Oh, right.
Just this specific bottle.
Okay. Well,
You're not going to find it on your Untappd.
It's on here.
It's best by 7/10/22.
Oh, no, you have that information, no. By 7/10/22.
Yeah.
Oh, and we got plenty of time to drink it.
That's a good shelf life.
Well, let's take a look at it. What does it look? It looks like it's dripping,
Dark.
mysterious. It smells like pumpkin.
It smells like, yeah, pumpkin spice.
The pumpkin is a little
It's very opaque.
hidden, I guess you could say.
I can taste in the after.
I get it. It's good. It's a
The
good
aftertaste
stout.
is very pumpkin spicy.
It's not an overpowering stout, which is really nice.
Were you hoping for more pumpkin?
Yes, I think I was.
See, I think it's subtle, but it's definitely there.
I agree. But I was looking for a little more pumpkin forwardness.
Well, they got multiple pumpkin ales, so
yeah,
maybe the next one will be more.
Maybe the next one we'll do that in our month of strange brews, which is in October. So we have some time to prepare. Rob, I don't know what to do with a lot of things these days. Time is not on my side. I wake up, I do homework, I go to work, and then I continue to come home and do more homework. And then on the weekends, I'm spending it with the family.
Yeah, but you're going to be a master.
Yeah, hopefully.
You don't get to be a master just by watching Impractical Jokers all the time.
I do like Impractical Jokers.
When I go to my parents' house, that's what I make my mom watch.
Yeah?
I've sat there for hours watching the reruns.
It's funny. I've
good stuff.
I've seen them all, but I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I was thinking about it the other day.
What have you learned?
What have I learned? I'm almost done.
Throw some techie data out
Next
there.
Next week is my last week for my first class already.
So give us some knowledge.
I'm moving into the next one.
Drop some knowledge on us.
You know, oddly enough, what I'm learning about...
what do kids think about when they're looking at ice cream sandwiches?
I don't know. But
isn't that what you're mastering?
No.
Child psychology?
No, be a teacher.
Yeah, that's child psychology.
Not really. I mean, educator, but interestingly enough, a lot of what I've learned recently is diversification, making sure you have an inclusive classroom because you want to incorporate all people, all races. Students from all walks of life, whether it's race, culture, socioeconomic status,
it's full on.
Whether it's their identity, other identities, gender identities, sexual identities, all that kind of stuff. You want to.
So that's class 1 stuff now, huh?
I guess it's interesting, and I've learned some basic stuff like, interestingly enough, Horace Mann, a name that we're familiar with in the community. He was from Massachusetts, and his nickname is the kind of like the godfather of public schools. Believe it or not, schools really started in Massachusetts.
Really?
Yeah, pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah, didn't know.
And I even did some digging, Rob, where I was comparing just 2 districts that are pretty much right next to each other. But I noticed on things that one district in particular has a higher overall grade than the other school district. They, predominantly white population in the school, and that. And I don't know. It's one school district has a higher Latino population than the other one, which I found a little bit interesting considering the communities are pretty much the same. But there is a little division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all of my responses, and this is all before the stuff in the recent events in Kenosha had happened, had been like all my kind of research had been geared towards looking towards how I can make sure I'm including everybody in the classroom as part of the community. How can I teach community as in to unite students, to understand everybody's culture more thoroughly, take that into the classroom, and understand that someone, a troubled, quote unquote, troubled student, somebody that might be marked as a troubled student really isn't a troubled student. They're just they could be having problems at home. They could be not understanding the information because there's a language barrier and just stuff like that. So it's really trying to figure out pretty much how to fucking teach the class effectively to everyone, how to touch everybody's heart and get into them and really get them eager to learn and also feel like they're part of the classroom. I don't want to teach like I want to learn while teaching, and I don't want to just like talk.
Do you know what
to
you're
them.
going to teach? How old? Like where are you looking to teach?
Special ed.
Special ed? Younger kids?
The license will be K through 12. Whoever will take me is where I'll go.
Okay, gotcha.
So in special ed it's not like it kind of has some stereotypes attached to it, but it's not all people that have like a handicap of sorts. Or it could be. It could be.
My mom said I was special.
It could be. It could be.
I got educated.
It could be a child with autism that I'm working with. It could be. It could be someone who's dyslexic. It could be somebody who just has a learning disability versus like being like mentally challenged or on the spectrum.
Yeah, what about kids that aren't book learners?
Yeah, that could potentially go to that.
I don't know if that still happens. I know that back when I was younger, or when we were younger, there were definitely cases of people that I know now that are super intelligent people, but they just sitting them down in front of a book in a classroom.
It could be because they were too smart. It could be
they literally just could not get into the lesson or whatever. I mean, there were classes that there's specific subjects that I used to fall asleep in class all the time. I passed those classes. It's the things that maybe it was that they were too intelligent, but either way, they just didn't learn that way. They were hands-on learners,
Yeah, and that's another part of it is understanding the type of learner they are. Like, a lot of people they listen to music in the background while they're studying or writing a paper, you know what I mean? Or they have the TV on background noise of sorts. I personally get up before everybody wakes up so I can read in silence.
Yeah, I can't not have other noise when I'm reading.
I can't, even when I'm doing other homework, I don't like other noise. I like it to be just quiet.
Yeah, that's how I was too when I was in school.
Yeah, so I put on my my Beats headphones on, and I don't
working shoes,
and I don't listen to anything because the headphones
and his writing glove. You guys haven't seen his writing glove, but it's pretty amazing.
The headphones are so it dulls the background noise when there is background noise. So in the evenings, Carissa's watching TV and she's entitled to do that, or Ashton's around or Madison's around. They're doing stuff in the living room, where I do my work. I just put them on. Why
don't you go to the basement?
I don't have anything set up in the basement.
Why don't you set stuff up in the basement?
Because the basement's creepy.
It is very creepy.
I
withdraw my question.
I gotta finish the one room, and then maybe we'll get there.
Your basement is pretty creepy.
The one room though has a lot of potential, right?
Oh, it has tons of potential. But there is that weird closet thing that just goes to nothing, and it's just filled with spider webs and darkness.
I've gone in there a couple times.
Yeah. Do you hear your name in there? Because I hear my name when I go in there.
Do you really?
No.
I will say this.
Well, when I say my name.
Yeah, I will say it's, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but and you've pointed out before when you've watched Phil, he tends to bark at the
That drives me insane.
At the kitchen. Into the
it's not even just that he was growling at the rocking chair, and then he started barking to the left-hand side of the couch.
Yeah.
And this is in the middle of the night. I'm in a dead sleep, and so is he.
Yeah. So when he
wakes up and barks at the kitchen and then growls at the chair as if something is walking through through the living room from the kitchen.
I don't have the facts on it, and I learned that they don't technically have to tell you if a person died in your house previously.
Not your apartment either, apparently.
Well, no, I always thought the law was that they have to tell you that if the person before you died in house.
See, I thought it was like if it was in the past 3 to 5 years or something.
Well, I don't know, but I do know that one of the previous owners is passed away, but I don't know where. I don't know if it was in this house because they were the only other owners of this house. I'm the second person to ever really live in this house, and granted, like nothing crazy has happened, but Phil always is growling at the kitchen, and I've started taking pictures. On my phone.
Have you looked at any?
I look at them afterwards, and I don't see anything yet.
I've got a camera. You're probably better off going with an actual camera.
Why?
I feel like digital photography. Oh, I guess maybe someone that's.
Well, could I just do? Should I put a flash on? How do I do this? We should talk to our ghost hunting friend Todd.
I think you should, because
answers.
I've actually had the same query because I was snapping photos in my apartment when I was hearing things and things were going on there. And none of which actually, sorry about that, none of which garnered any results because I don't know if I should have the flash on or off. If it's off, it's just a dark picture. What, like.
Yeah, I don't know either on how to do it. We should get to.
I feel like on movies they have a flash on.
That could, I agree. That's what we should do. We should, one of our episodes, instead of like talking about stories or lore, we should learn how to ghost hunt. We should talk to a professional ghost hunter and see how to do it. Just how to do it. And I can set that up.
Awesome.
So that would be fun.
It would be fun.
But I gotta say, I get a little creeped out by it, and nothing, like I said, nothing as crazy has happened ever. I don't come home to clean dishes done mysteriously.
Yeah, well, you're getting married, so that'll change soon.
No, Carissa does do the dishes. I'm just saying, like, we don't come home and surprise the ghost did the chores.
Yeah, that's chairs on the table. Do you think that's why they put the chairs on the table? Because they're sweeping?
Maybe. Do you think anyone's ever had a convenient poltergeist?
Though that's what all right, do you know what Elf on the Shelf is?
Yeah, I do it.
I feel like I'm not sure if it's Elf on the Shelf or if it's a different. I'm pretty sure that what turned into Elf on the Shelf came from the idea of a fairy spirit in Ireland, Scotland area.
Sure.
That you would leave bread and milk out for every day or every week or something, and it would bring you good luck, and it was supposed to do chores and things like that for you. And if you forgot to put out that snack or whatever,
it fucking killed you.
It didn't kill you, but it would make your life harder. That's for sure.
Really?
Yeah, and there's people that were so into. I mean, that lore goes back quite a ways to the point where there's a lot of stories from people where they think it ruined their life that they forgot to put a cup of milk out for this fairy.
That's something we should look into.
It's pretty interesting.
Well, who drank the milk then? Was the milk ever gone, or was it because it's a little fairy that just little sips?
That's something they didn't touch on in the things that I watched on it.
Where do you see this shit? You always seem to have I'll say something and you'll be like, yeah, I've seen this documentary.
I just watched, I literally 2 days ago, I just watched a season on Amazon, I think, it must have been on Amazon, called Celtic Monsters or Celtic Legends or something.
Helter Skelter.
Helter Skelter. Is that what that? And it went over fairies and witches and
warlocks,
giants. No warlocks. Male witches, so I guess they were warlocks, but they didn't call them that back then. And there was a couple. It was 5 episodes. It was pretty interesting, though.
What's the difference between a warlock and a wizard?
There's a difference, but I can never keep it straight.
Because it
has to do with where they're what kind of magic they use, or where ones might be elemental magic, whereas one is physical. I don't know. Because
isn't in Harry Potter the dudes are wizards and the ladies are witches, right?
I think so, yeah.
So what?
And I always considered a male witch to be a wizard.
Yeah.
But a warlock is a powerful sorcerer.
I thought a warlock was a male witch. These terms shouldn't exist anymore in 2020, though.
No, they should not, but they do. I don't know. Maybe we can look into that. That's something that I was falling asleep by the last episode of the Celtic Legends show was I was falling asleep because it was pretty late.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried watching this thing on Celtic mythology after that, and that put me right to bed. That was on
where do you stumble upon this stuff? Where is it?
It's on Amazon. It's on Netflix. It's out there.
That stuff's on Netflix?
There's stuff on there, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah, Myths and Monsters is on Netflix, I believe.
Do you still listen to Astonishing Legends?
I haven't for a long time.
Good.
But there is a show called Lore that I listened to. That's another one where I learned a lot of stuff from. They've touched on the fairies there, because one of the biggest things about fairies is that they take your kids and replace them with needy babies that cry a lot, and then people to the point, and people believe this to the point where they would because the baby that you had, that they would take your baby, and then they would replace it with a lookalike that was fussy and cried a lot and got colic or whatever. They didn't have colic.
Did they do that with 6-year-olds too? Because
yeah, they would do that.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure then Ashton has been replaced.
Okay, so what they would do is they would burn their children.
Oh, I'm not gonna
because
do that.
fairies don't like fire. This is how much people believed in it, that they actually there were like people that got murdered over this because they were trying to banish the fairy and bring, because the thing about a fairy lore in Scotland or Ireland is that the fairies would take children or take people, replace them with doppelgangers, and the people that got taken, the actual person, they were in no harm. They went to fairyland where it was great and they were pampered. But the person that was left with the fairy lookalike, that was the person who suffered because it really like just comes down to people having like shifts in mentality or babies with colic, or like it was really like when somebody made a major change in their life, if somebody in their life didn't like it, they would blame it on fairies. And one of the ways to banish a fairy doppelganger is to burn it. Pretty extreme.
And then after they do it, they're just like, oh, wait, that didn't work. Shit. Kid.
There's like a famous case of God, I wish I could remember the name, because we all know one of these legends based on like one of these people's names based on the fact that this dude, his wife started wearing fishnet stockings and making dresses, and she was becoming pretty rich. Like she wasn't rich, but she was starting to make more money than he was, and like it weighed on his head, and he got so paranoid about the fact that like he was not the man of the house anymore or whatever, that like he got into his head that she was a fairy, and the reason that she was a doppelganger, she had been replaced, and he ended up killing her. And it's like a famous, like, it's like those nursery rhymes that like you don't know where the hell they came from. I don't know which one it is, but one of them came from that incident, and it was an incident of a dude killing his wife because he thought she was a fairy doppelganger. I'll look into it, and we'll get back.
Sounds like you already have.
I have, but it was a long time ago. I can't remember all this stuff word for word, you know. It's interesting stuff. I don't know.
I'm just gonna riff some random topics, and I want you to say if you have or have not watched some sort of documentary on it. Already? So are you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Window installation.
I've watched a comedy show about window installation. Yeah, it's called White Gold. British TV show.
Okay.
Double pane gold.
What are those? Seahorses.
No. I got nothing on seahorses.
No?
Animal stuff, I'm not gonna, I don't have a lot on animal stuff. I don't watch a lot of those documentaries.
Lemonade.
Nope.
No? Okay. So I got to dig into like obscure things. I mean, the Mothman, obviously you've done that.
Yeah, lots of documentaries on that.
Chemtrails.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I told you I got kicked out of our airport for asking them about chemtrails, right?
No.
I never talked about this on the show?
No.
Yeah, when I was 18, I thought I was an investigative journalist, and I got a voice recorder.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, and I went in there and I put it down. I put the screws to them. I skateboarded out to the Fond du Lac airport.
You skateboarded out?
Yeah, I was 18, and I must have been 17.
It's not even
actually.
a commercial airline. It's just...
No, it's not. It's not a big anything. It's a really small airport, and I started giving them the facts on chemtrails, and they kicked me out. And I considered that like they know.
How did they kick you out?
They were like, I asked them what.
Sir, this is an Arby's.
There were chemtrails in the sky at the time. And there was a plane up there that looked like it was making them. So that was when I was like, I'm going to the airport and I'm going to go ask them about this. I didn't expect that they knew the plane, but I expected that they have to know about what airplanes are in their space or whatever.
Yes. Correct.
That was my mentality behind going there. And when I brought it up to them, they gave me that fluffy whatever answer where it's like, that's just the jet stream like condensation that goes. Most planes have like a streak that goes behind them, but it dissipates. Chemtrails do not dissipate; they blow up and they become a cloud. Like they become clouds. And that was what I was like, no, these are different. There's a grid of them. The entire sky is full. And the more I pushed him, the more frustrated, like he wasn't giving me any answers and I was getting a little bit more frustrated. And finally he called some dude over and was like, this kid's got to go. And they escorted me out.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you recorded it all?
I have it. Yeah, I had it recorded. I lost that voice recorder, which really pissed me off because
I wish we could play that at the end of this episode.
Yeah, trust me, I lost that when I was at Mercury, and I had some really cool stuff on there and some really stupid stuff on there, and it's embarrassing for me to even think about that voice recorder being that somebody listened to my because I used to just click on and.
Oh, you lost it at work?
Yeah.
Why would you even bring it to work? Because it was top secret.
No, because I worked.
You skateboarded to work then?
No, I used to carry it everywhere. The voice recorder.
I guess.
And that was just one file on there of because back then I don't know why I had it. Maybe it was for stand up,
like Fox Mulder or something.
I don't know what I thought it was, but I used to just make stupid observations to myself because I worked by myself on a forklift on a skylift. So you just stand, it's boring, you're on magnetic tracks, and if I would have thoughts, I mean, there was probably one that was like, I just told Dre about this, like, there's something like, I like French toast. And then, like, I'd argue with myself about French toast. Like, it can be too sweet, if you let it get too soggy. So somebody found that and listened to it, and it was me arguing with myself about whether or not French toast was good. And then a random thing where I got kicked out, like, they must have thought I was insane. It's embarrassing for me to think about. It sounds
like you kind of were insane.
Maybe a little. I don't know.
If that behavior would have continued, you would have became one of the local legends of the community we live in. And that's not necessarily... You would be right down there with
Scrabbles or Scribbles or whatever?
Scribbles and Downtown Jimmy.
Yeah. I changed my ways.
I haven't seen Scribbles in quite some time.
Me neither.
What happened to him? Downtown Jimmy, he got really sick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Downtown Jimmy? Is that a vampire?
You don't know who Downtown Jimmy is?
I don't.
An old guy that just bummed downtown. He went to every...
Scribbles was a big guy in my time.
Downtown Jimmy, he just walks... He walked to every...
I've met him a couple times. Now that I think about it, yeah.
Old guy can barely understand him, but he went to every establishment and they gave him a free soda. He probably drank like 20 to 25 free sodas a day. He's Downtown Jimmy. And then he would end at the radio station and we'd give him some water.
That's good of you guys.
Yeah. And then he would go to...
He'd throw it in your face and say, why isn't this fizzy?
No, we were nice. We were always nice to Jimmy. One dude used to put him on air. It was a segment.
Now, is that okay? Is that mean or is that nice?
I don't know. I didn't... That was before my time.
But what do you think?
I'd never heard the segments. I personally might be mean.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think they had a relationship, as far as like they had.
So did the Chinese guy on Letterman, and so did Howard Stern has a lot of. He has relationships with all the people like all these crazy people he brings on his show.
Yeah.
For multiple segments, but it's still kind of poking fun at them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the one that goes back to a mansion after the show.
Yeah. I really don't know because, like I said, I didn't listen at that time and it was before my time. I personally would not have done that.
You wouldn't have done it?
No, I wouldn't have.
I guess once again you have to hear the segment because
it wasn't.
If they like interviewed him and
they just talked to him,
but if you're just talking to him and it's funny to you talking to him. Because
I think he would like ask questions and like just see what his response would be because his response, I guess, were pretty.
So it was a comedic
outrageous.
bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was meant to be funny, but I don't know if Jimmy was in on the joke.
Yeah. Still, that makes it mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not something I would do. I don't like to do that.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe chemtrails is where my documentary knowledge started. Let's get back on
Documentary.
Yeah, it's not documentary knowledge because it's being interested in documentaries.
Documentary, or
a documentary.
You know, it's interesting because I listened to a podcast called Your Mom's House with Tom Segura and his wife Christina P. And there's a guy who is on there sometimes, but he's also like one of the producers, Josh Potter. He's a stand-up comedian, very funny. He says documentary, and then he also says elementary. See, and now you just said documentary,
but I meant to say I know it's documentary for
just documentary knowledge.
I don't know, for some reason the way I was thinking of it more of as an adjective than an adverb. So I purposely said documentary to specify something, but I just don't. I don't know.
Trampoline.
Yeah, because you never missay any words, right?
Right. Trampolines.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
There's got to be
the science of itching. Why something itches.
I feel like I have actually looked into that. But it came.
Why do we itch?
I came into some other I maybe came into that when I was looking into addiction type stuff.
Oh, okay.
You know, you go down rabbit holes.
Well, that's sad then.
Well, it's not
addiction.
Yeah.
You've looked into that?
I mean, if it's anything that's like weirdness in the world, yeah, I've probably tried to look into it a little bit. If it's just like blasé this and that, maybe not so much.
Have you been drinking more?
I have been drinking less. I've been playing a lot of basketball.
Good.
I've seriously every day, a couple hours of basketball. It's like 85 degrees out every day, and it's super humid. And I seriously drank 2 64-ounce Gatorades, and
it's not that good for you either, though.
And
a lot of sugar.
Yeah,
a lot of sugar.
Would you let me finish? And a half gallon of water. And
I don't feel like it levels it out. You're still consuming all that sugar.
Whatever. I needed electrolytes.
You can do that without Gatorade.
Well, the other day I only drank water, but today I went and bought Gatorade because I wanted coldness. I had warm water today, so I bought Gatorade to level it out.
Okay.
But still dehydrated.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's all the sugar, dude.
It's because I sweated it all out.
It's all the sugar.
I don't know. It's low sugar. I don't get the full sugar Gatorade.
Well, that's good. No, I mean, who am I to say? I'm a fat fuck, and you're skinny
normally
as hell,
I eat a ton of sugar, but I haven't been eating a lot of sugar. I've actually been eating at home, and
that's good.
I'm making ham sandwiches with lettuce, tomato, Swiss cheese,
and a lot of sodium. I'm just kidding.
Fuck you.
Well, I'm glad that you're drinking less, because I was a little concerned the one time we talked, and you said you'd been drinking a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I was getting concerned.
What about when I vomited off your front porch a bunch of times?
We had a good time. That was a fun night.
That was
right?
fun. Yeah.
But I eventually had to tell myself something, Rob, and I had to say, if this becomes a habit for Rob, where he's cut off.
Really?
Yeah.
You kicked me off the show?
I think I would force you into a hiatus until you got it.
I wasn't drinking that much, even when I was.
I was concerned, just
but
because
I appreciate it. No,
because I know the patterns of addiction a little bit. I haven't watched documentaries about it, but I know a little bit about it, and I was like, I just don't want Rob. I don't want to be the reason Rob has a problem.
Yeah. That's a bad place to be in when you. I found out that I helped put some people on some paths.
Yeah, and I don't want to.
And it sucks to be that person.
Right.
But I don't think you ever have to worry about me with alcohol.
Well, good.
That's something that I don't think that's even possible for me to become like an alcoholic.
Okay, so you're saying
the problem with for me is going out and drinking and running into older people from my life, being drunk, being offered something.
Right. I get that.
You know, that's what I'm worried about. That's why I don't go out.
Yeah. Going out sucks because, you You were at my house. We had a fire. We were playing some tunes. We were exchanging laughs. Having fun.
Yeah, that was.
And then at the end of the night, what do? We walk into the back door. You fall asleep on the couch. I fall asleep in my bed.
Yep.
And if someone from your childhood is in my house, we have a problem. Right?
Wait, if somebody from your childhood?
If somebody from your childhood or your past is all of a sudden in my house, we're probably getting robbed.
Yeah, and I don't expect that to happen.
Good.
Ever. I was actually just thinking about this today, because when I quit, when I really got away from those people, I got a new car, I got a new house, I got a new phone and phone number. My brother moved, my parents moved.
That's good.
Literally, if I could have said whatever I wanted to the people that I used to hang out with, the worst whatever.
Right.
And then they never would have been able to track me. They would have eventually, because Fond du Lac's a small town. But for the most part, I was just thinking about it. Man, everything in my life and the core people in my life that they would have known changed overnight. And it was they would have gone to empty houses and been like, what the hell?
What happened to these people? And then they call.
It just happened to all time out really well.
Then all of a sudden, you see your face on some milk cartons.
Yeah, they would have done nothing about it.
They didn't ever bring that back, you think?
The milk cartons?
Yeah, missing people on milk cartons, huh?
I think they'd have to bring back milk cartons first.
Why don't you put them on the jugs?
I don't know why they don't do that. Milk's really out of vogue now. It's not in style.
Yeah, you don't see the Got Milk commercials anymore. Why don't they just make the gallon jugs in the shape of the person's head?
That would, now you're thinking. Then they could just have them, if they had them on them, they could compare it.
Wait a minute. I drank you.
Hold still. Can you just half blink? You're missing, dude.
Did they really do that? Or was that is that lore?
What's that?
The missing person on...
they used to do that. Yeah. I believe they did that.
Now they just post them in the front of Walmarts.
I wonder if it's something that's worth money. If you have an old milk carton with somebody's face on it.
That'd be a pretty sad thing to profit off of.
I know, it's pretty macabre, but that's the human condition. What? Macabre? Macabre. That's dark and
Macabre?
Yeah, macabre.
Macabre.
It's I've heard it pronounced both
That should
ways.
be your Twitter handle.
Yeah. Macabrod.
I think we found the name of the episode.
All right.
Macabrod. How do you spell that?
Macrerob.
Okay.
But I guess it would just be Macrob.
Macabrod.
There's no actual. Maybe it's MACB. I don't know. You gotta look it up. It might be MACBRE. Is how it's spelled. Okay. But it's that's pertaining to dark and weirdness. But the definition of it would be somebody holding on to milk cartons with missing people's faces on them because they thought they'd be collectible someday. That's that would be quintessentially macabre.
What if, and here we go. So after we make our hit #/tag, we make our sophomore horror film in which the killer...
Is it called sophomore horror? Because I kind of like that.
We could. It could be called that. Where the killer, you know how most serial killers, they'll take clippings or newspapers, is they just collect the fucking milk cartons.
And then what?
Of his victims.
Yeah, so they kidnap people to get the cartons so that they can sell them 20 years later.
That's maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Hey, with shows like American Pickers, you never know these days.
American Pickers. They came to Fond du Lac.
Yeah.
A couple times.
I didn't hear that they were in Fond du Lac. I heard they were around.
They went to Fond du Lac. I don't know that they necessarily got anything. You know, it's weird because right after American Pickers is Hoarders, and it features the same people that were on American Pickers.
Yeah. They already have the footage.
Yeah.
It's just the B-roll from American Pickers that became Hoarders.
It's the sad B-roll from American Pickers. No. The attitudes have changed.
Yeah.
In the last half hour.
I've been playing basketball at Buttermilk, which is by my parents. So then I go to my parents' house.
Let's just list all the locations we go to so someone can stalk us.
Yeah. Well, that's about it for me.
All right.
But I've been going there after because they live right by there, so then I can shower right away.
Fair
but
enough.
I sit there and my mom watches this show, Alaskan Bush People.
Okay, I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
And it's like today she was reading off like these like she went online and looked up how much they were worth, and apparently they're worth like millions, tens of millions of dollars, but they live like
Alaskan bush people.
yeah. They like, do everything themselves, and they're building. One kid's building his own house out of a shipping container or whatever. And we were just when you're talking about like these weird reality shows.
Yeah.
She was reading off these comments, and it was like, oh, they shouldn't make these guys seem like they're so poor. And they're branding them and And it's like, first off, do you think this is actually 100% real? And
If it has in the credits, watch the credits of your reality show. If it says written by and a list of people, the shit is scripted, or it's loosely scripted. It's more like now right here is when Rob finds out Drew shit in his sock drawer.
Yeah.
Did I say shit or did I say sit?
You said shit.
Okay.
That wasn't a typo. You just go by what's on the page. I know that's your style. Drew's he goes by he doesn't ad lib. He doesn't ask questions.
Right. Yeah, but I mean that's what it is. The Bachelor is they're strangers at first, but the shit's fabricated.
Yeah, they want people that create these dramatic situations but like that was one of the things where it's like, first off, if you want to believe it's reality, then don't give a shit about somebody's brand. Because this dude was doing coke and him and his fiance, the chick that he asked to marry him on the show, she got pregnant and she left him and said that he was abusive and doing coke and a bunch of people had a bunch of shit to say about that, and it's like, if you like the show, watch it. If you don't
watch it.
Don't watch it. Don't get into the idea of brands, and this is reality show, like reality TV. Yeah, either they create a brand or that's who they are. You have to believe one or the other, but it's...
Well, my...
I don't know. That's just what I was doing today, was listening to my mom talk about the Google gossip of the Alaskan Bush People.
My former father-in-law owns a restaurant in Fairbanks, Alaska. And what's it called? Ice Road Truckers?
Yep.
They filmed in his restaurant.
Okay.
And they're like, okay, they're going to get in a fight in here.
Yeah, see, I knew that shit happened.
It was just a fake. It was all
I said
fabricated.
that while we were watching that show today, and I was like, this feels pretty contrived right here.
Yeah.
This feels like they made drama out of nothing right here. Mm-hmm. And that stuff, it's like, that's why I can't, my mom doesn't like watching that kind of stuff with me, because as somebody who is like read books and watched things and listened to podcasts on story structure and how to like create a story, it's like not everybody's daily cycle fits in this like dramatic story set structure.
Right.
But these people do. Everything they do has to, like, they can't just get the rebar and take it home. They got to hit a bump and get a flat tire, and then the rebar falls, and who knows where it went. And we need that rebar, because it's like, you guys have $60 million worth of, you're worth $60 million. You can go buy some new rebar. Nobody believes that if you've lost a piece of rebar, you can't pour your concrete. Fuck you.
What is rebar?
It's like the reinforcement shit that is steel. It's those steel bars that are in concrete foundations.
So in between interrogating airline employees about chemtrails, watching stuff about the Loch Ness monster, and then quantum mechanics, you fit in some time to actually learn about story structure and the creative process.
Yes, I
wow.
have. You know, one thing we can do for a strange brew, is if I have to find these SD cards. But me and Mike watched a documentary on.
Documentary.
Yes. Wait, I've heard it both ways. about you go out at night and you take pictures of things, and it's about negative space versus positive space, like lighting versus light versus darkness, and shit shows up in your pictures that's not actually there. And there's this what is it?
I don't know.
I don't either.
However you want to say it.
There's this doc that that was claiming that there's some type of entity that shows itself in pictures.
Okay.
But you don't see it unless you take a picture of it. And we have tons of pictures. There was a while where we went out and actually did this with a camera, and I found the pictures recently. So if I can get those back by October, I'll show you the pictures and I'll explain to you. There's a lot of stuff, and I will say there's a lot of stuff in those pictures that we were literally like, we had a digital camera, so we're looking at the picture and looking at the thing that we took a photograph of, and they're completely different in terms of like what the shadows are and where the light is coming through and where it's not. It was actually pretty intense. It was enough for us to go out for a few weeks and do it, but eventually we just didn't do it anymore.
Stop prowling in the night.
Yeah, we were just out taking pictures.
Because you're like, we're 30. We need to.
We were 25.
Oh, okay.
That's when 25. That's when people go out and take pictures of bushes and stuff at night, right?
Did you see any Alaskan bush people in the bushes?
Not unless they're shadow people.
I still want to do an episode in a graveyard.
I do too, and we easily could with the setup that we have.
All right.
I think Ryanzi would be a great place to do it.
Again, you gotta stop name dropping these places, Rob, because the government is listening and they're tracking us. Today, again, hundreds of birds.
I was gonna say, is this about birds?
I'm not even kidding. I took a fucking video, and the video, of course, doesn't do justice. Seriously, hundreds of birds just going in a row. How come I keep encountering hundreds of fucking birds? Those fuckers know they're not real.
But why would they need to be in hordes if they're a camera?
I don't know, man.
Because you only need one camera.
With all the stuff going on in the world, they need more birds to keep track on the citizens, to keep us down.
It's like
the man is trying to push us down even further.
Each bird is like every person on the earth has 5 birds that switch out.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
And maybe that was a switching process.
You should try and get one and tag one.
A bird?
So you could keep an eye on it. See if it's stalking you.
I should.
Just spray paint it.
I think we've said this before.
I was playing D&D, and my cousin's daughter has a sticker on her laptop. Birds aren't real.
Yeah,
it made me laugh.
It's a brand.
Yeah,
birds aren't real. The shirts are hilarious, and I definitely want one. We should get them on the podcast.
I came across a dead bird on the sidewalk the other day.
Did you inspect it at all?
Bethany certainly did, and it looked pretty real to me.
Bethany did?
Yeah, she got to it before I did, unfortunately, and she picked it. What's this? And picked up the head.
Oh,
and I was like, put that down. Put that down.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Mike doesn't know about that. I forgot to mention that the other day.
He does.
But she never figured out what it was, and I didn't let her know.
Did you didn't tell her that it's not real?
I did. I said it's not real. It's not real. But she didn't know it was a bird. It was in multiple pieces.
Okay.
It was pretty old too. I made her wash her hands, people. Stop judging me. I feel their judgment.
Before we go, I had a weird dream last night, and unprompted.
I've watched docs on dream interpretation, so run it by me.
So you'll have some knowledge. I haven't watched a horror movie in a while or anything like that. Nothing scary. Like I said, I really ran you down my routine every day. Get up at 5:30, do homework, go to work, get home, eat dinner, do homework, lay down in bed with Carissa, watch The Office.
Okay.
Read, me and Carissa alternate reading Ashton bedtime stories because that's what Ashton likes to do that. I read them stories, put the kids to bed.
Not scary stories, though.
No, of course not. Last night I had a dream, and I was in it, so I was me, and Freddy Krueger was in it, coming towards, trying to attack me.
That sucks.
And I was up before. I have like a weird, I don't know if you want to call it a superpower or what, but I have a weird thing where I have the ability, like, I know when to just open my eye. Like, I have an understanding a lot of times when I'm dreaming that it's most likely not real, and all I have to do is open my eyes. So I just do.
That's good.
It's kind of weird. Isn't that kind of weird? I'm a little lucid in the dreams. Not always, but
I mean, it depends on how it hits you.
I just know that I can, like, usually people will like wake up when like the impact happens.
So you have the conscious thought in your dream that you need to open your eyes?
Yes.
See that? Yeah, that is kind of it's a good power, especially.
And I've had it my whole life, dude.
We just talked about this on one of our recent episodes about which horror movie would you like to live inside of, and you specifically said not Nightmare on Elm Street.
Mm-hmm.
Not that.
Yeah.
Which if I would have known then that you have this ability to open your eyes before the danger hits you, I would have said, well, that's the one you want to live in then.
Well, what happens when I don't?
Open your eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's like saying I choose to live in Halloween, but what if you trip?
I wrote a blog post about that, furthering that stream of thought.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. You should read the blog post. It's a Dudes with Brews blog.
How do I find it?
Are you kidding me?
I'm not good at technology, man.
You can write posts too if you'd like.
How do I get there?
I'll show you.
Okay. It's not for the podcast listeners.
One of the things said,
what's the password?
I listed a couple movies of like, I wouldn't want to do this, and I was like, here are some of my solutions. For the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, move to Wisconsin. Like that was just like a joke.
Move to Arizona would work too.
Right. But yeah, it was dude, and it was last night, and it was super weird. Like, it was like the person I was with gradually turned into Freddy Krueger, and then like, dude, it was just a fucked up.
See,
dream.
that sounds scary to me.
It was a weird dream, dude. Like, and I'm like, why would I dream this unless there's some truth behind the story?
Do you think that that's true?
No.
No.
No. It was just odd.
No, that's I mean, that's I normally do the same thing where I try and track. If I have a dream about something, I go, what did I talk about in the last day or 2 days that would trigger that thought to come through?
Right.
But we didn't talk about Friday the 13th. That had to have been like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So
it was a lot. I mean, I don't know.
But Halloween's coming.
Yeah.
Maybe he represents Halloween, and you opened your eyes early because you're like, it's too soon.
maybe. Unfortunately, this Halloween, I don't know that any like good new movies are coming out. Halloween, the second new Halloween was supposed to come out, but it got pushed back till next year.
Oh, lame. I watched Get Out the other day.
You liked it?
It was good.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, very good.
It's a crazy.
Now that I knew that it was something like that, but that was not what I
had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was like that. And I mean,
I watch it with commercials though. That kind of pisses me off. I don't like watching things with commercials.
What?
Like I watched it on TNT or whatever.
No, what did you watch it with?
Commercials. Whatever. You're joking with me right now. Commercials.
You say commercials. Well, this is recorded, so we can go back.
Well, yeah, I know I said commercials, but that's what I say.
Commercials.
Okay, well, potato.
Not really.
All right, whatever.
All right.
I say commercials.
Documentary
And
commercials. I'm going to watch this commercial documentary. And then afterwards, we're going to sit down and fall asleep in each other's arms while we're watching the great 1932 classic, The Bike Thief.
Great movie. I stand by it.
A lot of new segment ideas still in the works.
Yeah.
I still want to do Drew Ruins the Movies with you.
Unfortunately, we can't do this stuff until you graduate, kind of.
No, well, we can...
Or summer or something, like when you're not in school. Because I feel like...
summer classes.
Okay. Well, I just feel like that's there's a lot on your plate already,
There is.
obviously. So like to ask you to watch 2.5 hours of a movie or 2 hours of a movie, like
I can try to do it on the weekend though. Like what's a classic movie you want me to watch that I could have access to that I haven't seen? Like The Godfather. I've never seen The Godfather.
me neither. I can't get through it.
I don't want to watch it either.
Yeah,
to be
that's
honest.
a 3-hour movie.
Okay, yeah, fuck that. Citizen Kane. I've never seen that.
It's a great movie.
Do you have it?
I don't, and I don't even know where to find that.
I can try.
I'll see if it's on anything, and
Yeah.
I would be down to watch that for sure.
Jaws, I would say, but I hate that movie.
Okay,
It's,
I say Zardoz.
Huh?
Zardoz.
Maybe you have to give me your information so I can do it.
I think that might just be on Amazon, but I'll check.
I don't have Amazon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll give you my info.
Okay.
For that alone, Amazon. Just so you know, Amazon. I'm talking to Amazon now. It'll be for this one movie. I'm gonna watch it with them. I'll be here. So,
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But there's another potential segment in which you and I won't be a part of it.
yeah, you gonna announce it now?
Well, let's make sure it happens first.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
but
It's a teaser.
it would involve two completely different hosts. I would produce it, but I would be a silent producer.
And it would still be on this canon, on your canon.
It'd be part of the Dudes with Brews thing, and it's focused where they're still enjoying a different kind of certain type of beverage, and they're giving you a different eye, a different perspective on things, talking about random stuff, kind of like me and Rob do, only with a different perspective because it's from completely different people with completely different genitalia.
There you go. Yeah,
Does that make sense?
makes perfect sense.
Make sure you hit us up on Twitter at Dudes on a Porch. You can check us out on Instagram, Dudes with Brews Pod, and hit us up on Facebook. Facebook is kind of lame, but you can do that if you'd like. Email us, dudesonaporch@gmail.com. Whatever you want, whenever you'd like. We're fine with it. We're on Substack is the blog, dudeswithbrews.substack.com, I believe is what it is. You can find it on Twitter and stuff like that. I try to post as much as I can. Rob's going to be posting eventually as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got merch on TeePublic. Just search Dudes with Brews on a Porch. It's easier than trying to click the links because for some reason TeePublic has a fucking weird ass link that half the time doesn't work. We got masks, we got t-shirts, we got a lot of things, stickers, all that kind of stuff. I have a lot of stickers that I can give away. Just let me know. Just give me your address. I'll send you a bunch.
I've got stamps.
Outside of that, we drank Southern Tier Brewing Company. These folks are from, I want to say New York. I could be wrong. They're from somewhere, not Wisconsin.
Lakewood, New York.
Hey, there you go.
And Parksburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay, they all there. That makes no sense. We drink Warlock and Imperial Pumpkin Stout. Once again, I wish there was a little more pumpkin to it. This is a stout rendition of their beer called Pumpkin, which we'll have in a future episode. Rob, drink it or dump it?
Drink it.
I say drink it as well, but I would have liked more pumpkin.
Yeah.
That's
and what was weird is it came and then it was the second sip had more pumpkin than the first, but less than but the third sip had less than the second.
There it is.
Make sense of that if you want.
That's it. That's all we got.
Till next time.
In the words of Jerry Springer, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and each other. Be nice.
Pew pew! Audio. Goodbye, everyone.